On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are here with my $500 Bensen Gyrocopter, and today we're going to try to get the engine unstuck with the help of Evaporust. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Chair Go, and like I said, I am here with my Bensen Gyrocopter, what we're calling the chopper, or the helicopter if you want to, because you don't know what a gyrocopter is, that's fine too. Today, we're going to try to get the very stuck, I'm not pushing that hard, engine unstuck, because it's been sitting outside forever and it is fully seized up. You can see the air intake right here. This was sitting outside for years, so you know the carb just let all that water right into the engine. So I assume all of this is full of water. The cylinders are probably full of water. What's really crazy is I think you can just see the piston actually right through the exhaust port there. The exhaust ports are pointed up into this duct and the exhaust comes out the back. I've got a bunch of Evaporust here from Harbor Freight. Eric went and picked it up for me earlier. This is everybody's favorite tool to get engines unstuck because honestly, you just pour it in the crankcase and in the cylinders and on everything and boom, the rust just disappears. So I can't wait to try it out. My dad used that stuff on the giant generator in his shop, and I think it just took like a couple days of sitting, and then they just kept working it back and forth, and all of a sudden it freed up, and I mean, that thing runs amazing. No smoke, so the rings are good. Like, Evaporust must be magic. So anyway, he told me to try it. I wanted to try it. We're trying it. That's what we're here to do. I should just pour it straight in the carburetor. But first things first, we're gonna pull the plugs out. Now these are military spark plugs. I've never dealt with them before, but I assume that we need to unscrew this and then pull the plug out. I'm not really sure how it connects or anything like that. These are an old AC Delco thing, and it's basically just a spark plug that can't become accidentally disconnected because the connection is made and this cap is literally screwed on to ensure it won't back off. So, I mean, it looks cool. And it's a great idea if you're flying something. All right, we've got a 3/4 inch wrench here, and this should be, I mean, it fits right on there, what we need to pop these spark plugs off. So we'll just go ahead and give it a, oh, look at that. I did pour oil, you can see they're soaked with oil. A little bit of 3-in-1 lube on there so we could have some penetrant, and I think that worked out. So, wow, that's how the contacts work on those. It is spring loaded and the clips are unfortunately just falling apart there. Huh. That is super interesting how that works. Well, these are coming right off once I break them loose, so that's a good sign. All right, there's our wires. Let's see about the plugs. Well, an 11/16 actually let me spin this thing out, so let's see what the rest of it looks like. Wow, it's quad tipped. Look how tight the gap is on these. Also, these plugs look like they've never been run. Bunch of dirt in it. Bunch of dirt in it. The dirt's just falling out of the plug. Wow, I don't think these have ever been run. Well, let's see if this one works. And it did. This one looks much better. Not as much junk down inside this plug. So we got two out. These things are just coming loose super easy once you break them loose. And the plugs seem like they're just coming right out as well. Ooh. Wow, this one is stuck in there. Oh, I see. Yeah, the ceramic came out, but not the insert here. We're gonna have to spray some lube on that. And for now, this should let me get this plug out of there. It's the right wrench. There we go, there we go. Let's see how she looks. Better than the first one. The first one was the worst one. Let's go for this one. All right, look down inside that cylinder and you can see it's completely full of trash. When I say it's completely full of trash, look at that. Like, that is insane what's inside them. Now this one looks great. This back one I can see all the way to the piston and it looks amazing. Unfortunately, it doesn't really come through on camera, but that one's good. I guess I'm gonna start with the shop vac on cleaning out these cylinders. There is so much junk in there. First things first, you get to hear the crunch of what's inside the cylinder. Oh my gosh. This is insane. All right, now I'm gonna flip the vacuum on and let's see what happens. It's not coming out. Wow, it's level full with dirt. If you guys take a look in these exhaust ports here, this is what's built up in the cylinders basically. Like, they look like this inside. I can definitely see some of the stuff coming out, but it's just crazy how much junk is actually in them. Hit it with the vacuum. One more. Look up. Just put the vacuum underneath maybe, and I'll just bring. Wow, it's like something made a nest in here. It is. There's so many sticks all the way up inside it. That is not something that happens naturally. Well, the left side was all bird's nest or something like that, and this side is all wasp's nest or some kind of insect here. You can see we're getting all the insect parts out of there. I mean, how are these completely full? It's because the exhaust is just wide open. But anyway, we'll be in here working for a minute, and I'm trying to get this shroud off, but unfortunately these bolts have fully seized up. So we have to get the shroud out to really work on this at all. I mean, this thing's gotta come off. We ended up getting the nuts off there using the impact and a bunch of knocker loose. Of course the nuts stuck inside the socket. And now the bolts themselves aren't moving one bit. So I'm trying to get this loose here. This stuff is all just grody from years of sitting. That one's growed into place completely. You can see all the rust. Oh, you got the nut out.
Yeah, just went the back end.
Sweet. All right, we'll put all these parts together so we don't lose any of it. Time to pull the shroud off of here. Wow. Oh man, look at all the trash in these things. So this is what captures the shroud. And it's all buried in dirt. There we go. All this needs cleaned up, which we will definitely be doing. And we've got all of our hardware put together so we don't lose any of it. Hey, will you hand me that screwdriver? Thank you. We gotta upgrade to a bigger pick for this job. Wow. You can see the piston. There she is. Everything is just fully packed. This side is 100% a bird's nest. You can see there's that like nylon they love to pick up in there, and I mean the birds were somehow inside, I don't understand, but inside that cylinder, because all this same junk is in there and the plugs were in it. Doesn't make any sense. If you look down in there, you can see the piston's closed on that one and this one's open. I mean, partially open at least, and we're just gonna spray it full of knocker loose and then evaporust it. We've been cleaning for about 15 minutes. Darrell's getting all those fins, and I've been in here trying to clean all the dirt out of this cylinder. This is just some of what I've gotten out so far. Insane what's coming out of here. We now have two weapons, vacuums and high pressure air, and we're gonna try to clean out the bug cylinder at least because it's the worst one. So you can see I've got tons of dirt that I've scraped out. I've been in here loosening it all up with the Allen wrench, basically just going like this. And I'm getting tons and tons of dirt out, but not nearly enough. So, whoop, let's start here. Wow, the dirt just went everywhere. All right, now the real question is, can I blow the dirt out of the cylinder? Now it's time to get this carburetor off here. Oh, look at that. I am mind blown that any of this is actually coming apart easily, but it's just put together just right. Yep. Couldn't get a socket on this stud, but we will get the wrench on here. And carburetor's coming off, and that should let us see what we're dealing with in the crankcase, just how rough this thing's gonna be. Wow. Didn't even need a bead on it. Like the carburetor just came loose. So I should be just about off. There we go. We'll see if this bad boy is full of water, which I kind of expect it to be, because the pistons look great. I mean, they look like they should be moving already, even with all the trash in them. So we've done a good job getting a lot of it out, but there's a lot more to go here. You can hear the Corvette out there being tuned. Oh, white C5. It's better. For some reason it had no throttle position signal. And it seems like we got that fixed with a wiggle. I think Chris is, nope, he just shut it off. Well, it actually doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad at all in there. It looks nice and clean. So maybe the can was on there for quite a while. Somebody had to have a cover on this. Look at all this water coming out of that thing. I just flipped it over and it just started pouring water out of the flow pool. So let's get in there with the sauce. Figure out how to use this. Peel for details. Oh, well, here we go. Pre-clean item if it's oily. We can't do that. Soak it in. Yeah, we're just gonna pour it in there. Pour it in your gas tank? Well, we're just gonna pour it in our engine. Apparently you can reuse this stuff forever too if you want. People just save it in a 5-gallon bucket and keep using it. I'm not that worried about it because it wasn't expensive, but. Oop. This is all water coming out of the carbo. Crazy how much water's in there. Yo, this stuff said wait 2 to 12 hours, 1 to 12 hours, but it moves. Okay, so we're not gonna move it much, but if you look down inside the exhaust ports, you can actually see, I don't know, hopefully you can see, first they're swimming. We have these things about that full of evaporust. So there's quite a bit sitting in the crankcase and in the cylinders. And right there you can see the pistons come all the way open. Maybe. Yeah, here, you can see it move, right? Let me go the other way. Okay, here we go. Piston should be coming out. I heard something go ding, which was bad. Oh, well that's...
I can do this one.
Okay. You can see that piston move? It's tough because the blade...
Yeah, I've seen it moving a lot when you had it.
Well, that's TDC on these ones. Yeah! We got the TDC! All right! I don't know for sure, but the way I've heard this works and the reason it's such a vibrating engine that's not really that great, it hits 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and of course it's a 2-stroke as well, so it's just sucking in the fuel, explosion, and it shoves it all right back out the exhaust. So super simple engine, like the simplest thing there is. But right now both of these are TDC. I can touch both pistons, and these ones are all the way retracted, which is very evident because we can look in the exhaust port and see the piston is all the way retracted. So it might not be moving well. We may need to switch to oil, or we do need to switch to oil, but oh, it sounds so bad. There's that evaporust. Go back in, go back in. Anyway, I'm gonna clean the evaporust off everything, and we're making progress. I mean, these cylinders, we got them all cleaned out. so much trash came out. And then Darrell and I both pushed incredibly hard on the prop, and all of a sudden it just came loose. I mean, it wasn't even that hard, honestly, I guess, right? We both had like 50-50 weight on it, and then it just... So it's free again. I need to get all the evaporust off of this because I don't want it sitting on there. I don't know what it'll do to aluminum. So I'm gonna get some water and clean up our mess. And honestly, I'm just gonna move the entire thing and floor clean this up. And then we'll keep letting it soak because we gotta free up the rings. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. I'm gonna put this right back where, let's see, we started right about here. So now I can see the rings, and hopefully they're freeing up. Cool. Just so you guys have a visual reference for what came out of the cylinders, this is the bug side with lots and lots of air, and it's been vacuumed up a few times. And this is the bird side, which is just, I mean, it goes all the way to the top. It was hitting me. I mean, my pockets are full of it. So much trash came out of these cylinders. So we're gonna move everything now, get all of our tools picked up, and drive the floor cleaner over it. This worked out so much better than I ever expected. I did not expect that the engine was gonna be moving today. I was like, we'll just fill it up with evaporust once we get all the trash out of there, which I didn't even know was in there. But we found bird's nests and wasp nests or hornet nests or something like that. Mud daubers probably, and they were full. Just you saw how crazy this thing was. The animals had taken over my engine. And today we took it back from nature. That's what we were here to do. And then we poured in the evaporust. I just filled it until it started coming out of the spark plug holes, basically. So there's a pool of it in there. It's still in there too. We're gonna let it soak a little bit longer. And then we'll start draining the crankcase down. But the engine free-dried up after all that. And of course, lots of knocker loose, lots of oil. Everything's being very carefully disassembled because it all has to go back together. And if we can make this carb work again, which is soaked in knocker loose, all of this stuff, I probably need to soak it with evaporust too and get all the water out of it because it's full of water still. But we're gonna get it, and I think it's gonna run. As is. I don't think we're even gonna have to pull the jugs off, I hope. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop. Watch jrgo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. I need that sound in the background all the time, just revving.
I was gonna say like that
Corbin.
fits.
Perfect, Chris. He's actually like really close. I saw the misfire counts are really, really good, even at idle, and it's cammed. So previously we were seeing some misfires at idle, but he's out there like on the brake, loading it up and watching for misfires and knock retard, and he's gonna get it all out of there. It's got like 1% KR right now from what I just saw, and he's almost got it down to nothing. So I'm super pumped. The white car is gonna rip.